Look at this Premier League table. This is madness. Man City, they are just not slipping up. Since last episode, I think... No, they haven't. I was going to say I think they've dropped points. No, they haven't dropped any points. We now have 3 games in hand on them, and today, Arsenal to play, and then Liverpool, either side of an FA Cup replay against Norwich City. Not easy games. It is also the 1st of February in game. Tomorrow is deadline day. Will we be doing any transfer business stuff? Probably not. We have very little money. And in terms of transfers since last episode, there's been none. Of course, Joseph Kabongo joined us at the start of the month. We'd already agreed his signing. You might remember another man we'd agreed to sign in Hannibal, I was going to call him. Very good player, the 18-year-old. I've already hit my limit for 18-year-old players that I can sign in a year. 6 foreign under-21 players. I've signed 6. So this transfer has been cancelled, which is why, if you were wondering, we do now have £10 million to spend. £10 million that was going to be spent on a bargain, and to be honest, I don't know who I'm going to bring in now. Probably no one. Although when you look at our squad, in spite of a few more injuries, which are still an ongoing thing, we don't need new additions, we need results. And that is what we are here to try and get today. Arsenal at first. Let's run the intro. This is a heads up of the game that we'll be playing next episode in the Carabao Cup final. I know you guys are sick of Arsenal. This game really matters. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Since last episode, 3 games played, 2 in the Champions League, 1 in the FA Cup. We've not actually played in the Premier League since last episode. Annoyingly, we drew in the FA Cup, so we have a replay. So the schedule just continues to pile up. Now, like I already mentioned, today we are going to do the Arsenal and Liverpool games. Deadline day is also tomorrow. If anything happens, we'll discuss it. I don't think anything will be happening. And elsewhere, well, as I've already mentioned, we have Norwich to play in the FA Cup. We should be beating them. My B team didn't beat them when we met them earlier on last week. That game was this one here. It finished 2-2. They took the lead. We came back after a few minutes. They scored a minute later. Vasquez scored in the second half. We dominated the game. We should have won. We didn't win. NDIA won man of the match. As for the other 2 games we played, both in the Champions League, the first was this one here against Rennes. I played a rotated team. We won 7-0. Vasquez, 2 goals, 2 assists, man of the match. He's been in some good form lately. Sadly, in our final Champions League group stage game, the form did drop off. Yeah, I played a B team in this game again. Lee Min and NDIA at centre-back is a thing. As a result of this, we did lose our unbeaten run in the Champions League phase. But the reason I rotated the team was we'd already finished top. So I just decided, let's rest the players. We have Arsenal to play. The good news is, most of the players are rested now for this one. That said, we are still contending with injuries, and I had some people ask, Jack, what are your physios doing? Bloody good question, isn't it? I have the best physiotherapy, apparently, in the Premier League. It turns out that doesn't really help with avoiding injuries, and just talking on the injury front. I feel like this here really indicates the issues we've had this year. Of course, October was a disaster of a month. The last couple of months have been pretty bad too. If you start thinking, wow, there's no injuries in February, well, we're 14 hours into February. The month is still young. But I do feel like when you look at the days missed by players in the last 12 months and the number of first-team players here who feature in this list, it kind of shows the problem. Misiak's been out for 87 days. Diop's missed 86 days. Chelik's missed 76. Alex has missed 67. All of those, I think, have been this season. Lehman's also missed 50 days. Yeah, the injuries have been kind of mad. I know I sound like a broken record. I mention it all the time. It's annoying. And of all the players injured, perhaps the most important first-team player injured is Sneddon, because I had been playing him more frequently at centre-back. Of course, he kind of dropped out for Huari and Salmon at the start of the year, but I've been continuing to play him plenty. And to be fair, when we played him, he's played really well. I was thinking we might play him against his former club in Arsenal. He's got a cold. Yeah, it's not a serious injury, but a cold. You know, that's ruling him out of playing against his former club. He must be really sick. Someone should go get him some Lemsip. In terms of other first-team injuries, Neto is currently out with the flu. Yeah, I feel like our players are just all coughing and licking each other. That is the only explanation by all these injuries, which are just sickness. And one injury we did have to contend with over the last few weeks was Afoni being out injured. Good news, though, he's back. Fitness test not required. First-team goalkeeper back for this game. Feels rather important. And let's be real for a moment, this game is must win. I talked about it last episode, the fact that we needed Man City to start slipping up. We beat them. I hope that might be the beginning of something. Spoilers, it's not been the beginning of anything. We now have 3 games in hand on them. Win this game, we'll be 15 points behind them still. Yeah, we've got a lot of catching up to do. And that catching up starts with this game here. Away from home against Arsenal, of course, they were a big rival a few years ago. Last year, they weren't much competition for us. This year, they're down in 6th, but they are very much in contention for a Champions League spot, which means we have to be at our very best. As already mentioned, 2 Champions League games and an FA Cup game played since last episode. I pretty much excluded the entire first team from playing those games just to basically give them 2 weeks to be rested for the upcoming league games. We've got, obviously, Liverpool and Arsenal to play today, Tottenham on the horizon as well. This game here is a big one. In terms of team news, there is one major bit of news, I suppose. Alexi dropped. Yeah, I'm dropping him down to the bench. I'm trying to send him a message. To be fair, he had been improving his form lately. He did miss a little bit of football recently through injury, but Sam Fay has been in some very good form when we've called upon him. You can see his returns at centre attacking mid have been phenomenal this year. So yeah, he's going to start. Alexi may be the super sub. The rest of the team pretty much unchanged. You can see here when you look at the form in the last 5 games, it has been very, very impressive. Alex at right back, I suppose, maybe one shock exclusion. But as you saw last episode, Bolton has been absolutely insane this year and lately. It's kind of difficult to drop him. Alex has missed so much football that Bolton's reclaimed his spot at right back. Anyway, let's get into the first of the 2 matches we're doing today. As I've already mentioned, we do play Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final, so maybe from a psychological point of view or something, there's an opportunity to get an edge over them here. They are playing with 3 centre-backs, 2 defensive mids and wing-backs. I feel like their counter-attacking game is going to be the aim of the day for them. As for ourselves, I feel like the big challenge is going to be trying to break them down. We're having a lot of the ball here. Halfway through the first half, nothing has happened. Okay, 10 minutes left of the first half. The first highlight of the game. We've waited long for this, and it's a corner that doesn't even beat the first man. That said, Sam Fay mopping up the pieces. Donald, Lehman, whips in. Roger Rojas is denied by Balbuena in goal. Of course, this is an Arsenal team we're very familiar with. Balbuena, the Argentine goalkeeper that we nearly signed before, well, he turned us down and we were forced to sign Afoni. To be fair, I feel like that transfer has worked out for us. All in all, he says, as Arsenal are on the attack. Of course, their goalkeeper's made a save. It might be now that Afoni needs to make a save of his own as Martinelli scores that. You know what? I want to blame the goalkeeper. I can't blame the goalkeeper there, can I? We are in the year 2037 and it's still Saka and Martinelli linking up for Arsenal. Arsenal fans watching this series, they're probably dreaming that this is what happens. I mean, that is a mad finish, isn't it? Yeah, Afoni was never getting there. And I know because someone will ask, how good are these players? Here is Martinelli. He's playing at left attacking mid. Interestingly enough, Saka has been relegated back to complete wing back at left back. This man plays left back for them. This man plays... I mean, to be fair, mentals and technicals good. Physicals, I want to say questionable. He's assisted against us. Does it even matter? That, by the way, was Arsenal's first shot on target. Bolton's injured. Bolton just talks about how good he's been. Alex... welcome back to the first team. I cannot believe it. I am going to hope that's not a serious injury. Alex has missed so much football this year through injuries. There's 5 minutes of added time. That means that he's probably been on the floor for a while. The good news is we're going to find a breakthrough. The bad news is VAR might intervene. I mean, this would be a good way to bounce back. We're doing it for Michael Bolton now. The goal's going to count. It's a set-piece goal. Celik whipping it in. Was it Diop with the header or Donald? I think it was Donald got the header. Misiak, lovely finish. I'm just sat here panicking about Michael Bolton. Oh, the Brentford fans who felt hard done by last episode, they're fist-bumping right now. Michael Bolton is dead. Ding-dong, etc. Look, there's... not a good first half, is it? We need to win this game. It's weird because, to be honest, a draw against Arsenal, really not a bad result in the grand scheme of things. I probably would have taken this under any other circumstances, but hunting down Man City, we don't have a chance to play them in our remaining games, so we have to hope they slip up. We just have to win as many games as we can. I thought Fabiano was going to score from them there, and I was about to get very angry. Okay, Diop's been poor in this game. I'm going to take him off and bring in Vasquez. Elsewhere, Celik is struggling. Faye's fitness is a little bit of a cause for concern. I'm going to take him off, which might be controversial. I just feel like with a player like Celik, he's the kind of player who in Football Manager, even if he's having a bad game, he can just have like a moment of magic. Do you know that kind of player? They're just the kind of player that, you know, they're bad, but if it was any other player, you'd take them off. But when you look at their attributes, when you know what they're capable of, Even on a bad day, you keep them on because you know just they can make something happen out of nothing. Go quiet for 70 minutes, pop up with an absolute worldie. I'm trying to manifest it in case you can't tell. Celik, please make it happen for us. Speaking of which, where is Celik? There he is. I know his headshot in 3D. He's that recognisable. He looks like Jesus with a beard. We've given away the ball. Saka. Why did I say anything about Saka? Prestiani, Cho has let us off the hook. That shot whistles wide. Okay, Huari over a corner. We are lacking left-footed players at this point, so Huari's the man whipping it in, the centre-back. It's cleared away to Rojas, but still maybe a chance as he gets into the box, deflects around, balls to Vasquez. I'm not sure what's happened there. That's one of those goals where Football Manager just looks a bit rubbish, isn't it? Maybe the animations just didn't do the game justice. It just looked like the ball was left unattended in the 6-yard box, and, well, Vasquez was just there to steal it away. Yeah, that is basically. If it goes against you, it's BS, isn't it? When it goes in it for you, you just love it. Great game, love Football Manager, me. To be fair, we do deserve that goal. We have been on top in this game. I do feel like another goal might be required. Could we get a quick 2-for-1? We've got a few players like NDIA and the Don trying to prove a point, I feel like, at this point. NDIA whip it into Mr. Nobody. Fraser clears it away. Vasquez nods it down. Of course, Vasquez on off the bench having an impact. It's all the subs involved right now. As it falls to Vasquez again, he's going to keep this ball alive as well. Does very, very well to keep it in. Lays it to Donald, who jumps over the ball like... I don't know what, like he just hopped over it. Anyway, it's come to Alex. He's at right back. Options in the middle. Can he put it in? He can. Rojas scores. The ghost of Michael Bolton assisted that goal as far as I'm concerned. 3-1. I want to say it should be game over. There is still 20 minutes left here, but Arsenal with a moment of magic to get into this game at all with that first and only goal. What we've done there, very, very nice. Good build-up play, good ball in, 3-1. Probably deserve that on the balance of play. I mean, Arsenal have just still had the one shot on target, an XG of 0.28. We've had a lot more of the ball than them. There's 10 minutes left here. I'm just going to shout words of encouragement. I have one last sub here as well. Who do I not want to get injured? I don't want to get Celik injured. Mark Anderson, come on. Imagine if Celik now gets injured before that sub goes through. I would be fuming. The good news is the sub's gone through. Did just also notice there, Arsenal have just copied our formation. Did you see it? They've literally just copied our formation. We've got a chance here. NDIA scores. You know what? We needed some good results today. This has suddenly turned into a statement result from nowhere. 1-1 at half-time, only really in the game because of a set-piece goal, and all of a sudden, for a couple of nice goals, through a Misiak goal and an assist, and some decent contributions by subs, we're going to win this game fairly handsomely. You can see here the formation, they did literally copy us at the end. Didn't do them any favours. They got one further shot on target after they scored. That is a really good result. Alex on off the bench, by the way, got man of the match. So Michael Bolton got injured. Alex got man of the match. Hopefully, not at a great cost. I am now nervously going to click forward here. Worth noting, we were the only team playing. How bad is Bolton's injury? I don't want to talk about it. Really, 6 to 7 weeks. I mean, at least Alex got man of the match, after Bolton went off. That's something, right? Right. Now, like I already mentioned, we have got an FA Cup replay against Norwich. I played the B team against Norwich and we failed to win, but it was a game that we dominated. My plan is to play the B team in that game and come back for the next match, which is against Liverpool. We have also got deadline day tomorrow. If anything's occurring in that, of course, I will come back for it. Have a sneaking suspicion it might be a quiet one. Okay, deadline day's here. Apparently, no rumoured incoming transfers. Apparently, Bailey Salmon, Mateus and Ichikawa might be going to Manchester United and Man City, respectively, on loan. Don't know who's providing those rumours. Those transfers are definitely not happening. Usually on deadline day, I'm thinking, I need to use up all my young player signings, but we've already hit the threshold on them. And in terms of first-team players, I don't really want to have to sell or replace anyone. So besides maybe some loans, which even then, I'm not sure who I'd loan now. I don't think we're going to be doing any dealings here. Some teams want Tilarski, but actually, I have used him on occasion as a squad player, so I think I'm going to have to keep him around. I think next episode, alongside the final of the Carabao Cup, I'm probably going to do a little roundup of all our loan players. We've got a lot of players out on loan this year. Some of them actually could end up in the first team for the next few seasons. 5 hours remaining of the window. I've had my first offer for a player. Ichikawa's had a bid from Arsenal. They've bid 36 million for him. I've set an asking price of 80 million, so they're only a little bit short of that at the moment. I know his contract's up at the end of next year, and I know he's unhappy, so he might not renew his contract. I just don't think I can afford to lose him this summer. Or, not this summer, this winter. Well, I guess technically it's summer in Australia, but this window. That's what I meant to say. Let's move on. I did wonder if we might get more offers for our players, but actually, in a weird way, it's probably a blessing that there are no offers coming in. It means that players aren't going to be unhappy, are they? Which is, I think, a good thing. You can see here, by the way, Man United have just beat Liverpool 2-0 to leap ahead of them in the league. Both those teams trailing us have played a game more. So good to see them kind of dropping points against one another. Arsenal, you can see here now down in 6th. They're struggling a little bit, aren't they? Obviously, they have just lost to us, but they are a little off the top 4 all of a sudden. I thought the last few years of Park to Prem's kind of January transfer windows were going to be the most uneventful ones. This has literally been the least eventful one ever. Nothing is really happening. Nothing has happened. The window's closed. Did see a few people mention recently about our overall balance being very, very red. Part of this is, of course, because we're renting a stadium this year. Another part of it is just because our wage spend has finally caught up with us. You can see here we spend the 8th most of all Premier League clubs on wages. We're actually not that far away from the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea, which is a little bit crazy. Naturally, though, when you do get to this elite level of football where you're playing in European games and Premier League games, generally you lose money throughout the year, then get a big influx of prize money and some TV money at the end of the season. I know it looks big and scary, these numbers, and this kind of cliff face of a financial summary doesn't look particularly good. That loss there is because of the net spend we had this transfer window. You know, we spent almost £100 million this summer. It is nothing that we need to worry about just yet. Anyway, that is the transfer window just done. Squad registration, I can maybe add some players to the Champions League and Premier League, but actually, the registered squad hasn't changed this year. I have the opportunity to register one player from my under-21s for the Champions League. Who do I even include at this point? Who would I even put in? You know what? Kabongo, the new kid, the 18-year-old, you can be included. If this guy plays in the Champions League, things have gone wrong. Anyway, we have got Norwich City up next, who I have just noticed have Malky Mackay as their manager. He used to play at centre-back for Norwich once upon a time towards the end of his career. That's a little bit interesting. Not interesting enough to justify doing it in a live commentary. The fact that we drew against them, a championship club, when you look at their recent form, is kind of mental. They had such a good start to the year. They're actually in 13th, but look at this form. The B team, I'm confident, are going to beat them. I'm coming back for Liverpool in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Every weekend now when we go into games, I'm hoping Man City are going to drop points. Been let down early this time. They won 5-0. Yeah, Wolves couldn't do us a favour. But, crucially, we did manage to beat Norwich 4-1, and our team is now rested for this game here. I have just quickly plonked in my preset best 11. Bolton and Neto injured on the bench, but the actual starting 11 is all here. And look at the green hearts. Everyone is fit. Life's good. Well, except Bolton and Neto. But the first team's fit. That's what matters at this moment in time. Also, Mateus in that game against Norwich scored a hat-trick. Got a 9.45 rating. Think he deserves to be on the bench for this one. Now, whilst Liverpool are trailing us by a few points, I'm acutely aware that a slip up here, a slip up there, and all of a sudden, they could be right breathing down our necks. We need to win this game if we do want to keep our push going in our quest, ultimately, to try and dethrone Man City at the top of the table. It's going to be tough. It was a really good statement result, though, against Arsenal. I'm hoping for a similar performance here. You might have noticed the Don is back in the team. Sam Fay will be on the bench for this one. And while we do have a chance here, maybe early. Alex, of course, in at right back now, praying that he is going to stay fit. But we have got through, I think, the most brutal months of the season now when it comes to the fixture schedule. Although with our games in hand, maybe that's not really the case. But Alex at right back, Bolton's away and now injured. We need this man to step up. He was sensational last year. Can he make something happen this year? Almost immediately, he gets an assist. Diop's header hits the post inside the first 5 minutes. We have now got a corner, though. It's an outswinger towards the near post. Headed away as far as the Don. Don. Can he get it in? He can. Donald's under it, and Donald is going to score the defensive mid. 4th goal of the season. What is VAR checking here? What are we checking, ref? Was there a foul in the build-up? Is that what we're checking? The goal's going to count. That's all that matters. Celik with the ball in. Thought when it was cleared away here, maybe that was the chance over. But the Don getting into a dangerous area, looping up into there. And Donald, he's very big, isn't he, Donald? We don't really talk about Donald at defensive mid. Signed him in January last year to be more of a squad player. He's become a mainstay of the first team this year. He's been playing very, very well in the league as well for us. Not sure you can necessarily say £90 million well spent just yet, but he's He's 23. He's continuing to get better. He's got us an important goal early here. Suare now for Liverpool, taking the goal kick, taking it wide to Salisu, who's going to give it back to Kane in the middle. It's not Harry Kane, by the way. It's a regen called Kane. Be a little bit concerning, wouldn't it, if they were playing with Harry Kane in at centre-back in the year 2037. Meanwhile, we might have a chance here. Rojas, Diop was offside. I'm kind of relieved about that. The shot was awful, but maybe we can just claim he knew he was offside, so he wasn't trying properly. Okay, 15 minutes played here. We're a goal to the good. We are continuing to be on the front foot here, and while Rojas has gone down in a heap, the referee's pointed to the spot. I'm going to be honest, in 3D it looked generous, but then again, it's Football Manager 3D. Is it really a representation of what we're seeing? I'm not sure it is. Is it going to be given? It is. We now have a chance from the spot. Rojas is going to take it. He is 2 for 2 this season from penalties. Could he? Should he make it 3 for 3? I'm actually fuming. We always miss penalties in live commentaries. And just for confirmation, 2 for 2 from penalty. You can see at the bottom here, hadn't missed a penalty before this one today. In fact, he's 3 for 3 in all competitions. He's let me down when it mattered quite a lot. I feel like most of the time my players are quite good at scoring penalties in Football Manager, but they do miss quite a lot of penalties in live commentaries, it feels like. In the big games, it just feels like players miss penalties. Does anyone else just feel like penalties in Football Manager are just a bit random? Like, you see a lot missed, I feel like. Or maybe that's just that my players are bad. It's probably that. We are rapidly approaching half-time in this game, by the way. There's 5 minutes left. Liverpool 1 shot on target. This is very reminiscent in some ways of the Arsenal game. However, we've not been able to get a goal despite our dominance beyond that one we got early on. And whilst it's nice to be ahead, I feel like there's more to come from the players in the second half. Not going to make any subs just yet. Maybe I'm going to live to regret that. I did actually choose to praise the players there rather than be shouty and angry with them. And for a moment, I thought it was going to cost us immediately. That shot whistles over. Not great for Liverpool. 10 minutes into this second half, Alex on the near side with a throw-in to Rojas, who has now really got to look to make amends, hasn't he, the Costa Rican international. He may have won the FIFA World Player of the Year last year. Doesn't mean he can score penalties when it matters. Misiak playing it forward. I think Rojas was offside there, even if he'd got to it. The pass itself was overhit by Misiak, who I think we have to acknowledge in the game against Arsenal had a really good game at roaming playmaker. I feel like his passing range is really, really good in that specific position, just picking balls from deep. Of course, what we've seen there, not the best example of it. And well, as a result of it, maybe Liverpool with a chance bringing it forward. Nunez, the Don, wins a nice little tackle. Diop now holding it up nicely, playing it to Rojas, who I think is onside here. He goes around the keeper, it hits the side netting, and it would have counted. All their players just seemed to stop, convinced it was offside. The flag did not go up there. That is a chance squandered by Rojas. And well, as we approach the hour mark, I think subs, I'm starting to think about them. I'm thinking Rojas might have to come off for Sam Faye here. We are now going to give the ball away. Not a good area. Misiak, I just chose to big you up, mate, and you've let me down there. Losing the ball, and now it's Liverpool bringing it forward. Nunez crosses it in. And Roberto Estrada, the Mexican monster, scores. I noticed he's playing as a target forward for his role, which just feels like the wrong role to be playing their striker as. Not that I'm going to tell the Liverpool manager how to do things, given the fact we're not even beating them here. Nunez with the ball down the line. It's not Darwin, just to be clear. And Estrada, tidy little header. If you were wondering about Nunez, it's Alejandro Nunez, who is incidentally Uruguayan. Amazing. And also, just on Estrada, mentioned he's playing as a target forward. To be fair, he's not awful in the air with his jumping reach, but I think there's better roles you could play him in. Anyway, we are going to make some changes here. I'm going to bring in Vasquez, who's been in some really, really good form. Celik has been quiet today. I'm going to take him off too and bring in Sam Faye. Just looking at the rest of the team thinking, do I want to make more changes? Alex has not been good at right back. I'm going to bring in NDIA to play there. Of course, NDIA, either-footed, can play on the left, can play on the right, can play in the middle if we need him to. On this occasion, I need him to channel his inner Michael Bolton, who would ordinarily come on in this kind of situation. Diop, far side, inside, Faye, with a golden opportunity to put our noses back ahead. And the Scot hit it straight at the keeper. It was saved away. We do still have the corner, so let's not overreact. Let's not panic. But we do need to win this game. We need to find a breakthrough. Sam Faye, can you find it? No, his shot just goes over the bar. I'm going to shout words of encouragement here. 20 minutes left. There's loads of green, happy, smiley faces along the bottom. Hopefully, that is going to, correlate with us getting Well, a green smiley happy face here. Let's get a goal. Let's make me happy. I mean, if my face goes green, I guess things have gone wrong. But I want to have a smiley face. Wari, make me smile. The Don on the far side. Down the line to Diop. Back to Donald now. The goal scorer for us. Lays it to Misiak, who has some space. Lovely passing play, it has to be said here. The Don crosses in. Vasquez is there, and he's been in great form in all other competitions. In the league, he's not been sensational. Had a chance there. Headed it over. And I'm looking at things thinking there's 15 minutes left. Look at our XG. The penalty miss we might live to regret here. I am going to change some instructions. We're going to distribute it to the flanks. Get it forward that little bit quicker. No longer look for the overlap. I don't want the players in the middle dwelling on the ball to allow the wing-backs to get forward. We just need to move at a little bit more pace. There's 5 minutes left. Corner here. Lehman whipping it in. Suare collects it confidently. The Liverpool goalkeeper, very commanding there with the way he plucks the ball out the net. And now maybe going to look to launch something as... Well, they go short here. Donald, I think it was, or that, no, Diop there. They're very keen to get involved in the pressing. And in fact, with that pressing, we've won the ball in a good area. NDIA playing like right back, getting to the byline, options in the middle, and Diop, who's maybe kind of pressing, started that attack, enforcing them to go long in the turnover. Sadly misses it. It's another golden opportunity. I've still got plenty more subs if I want to make them. I'm leaving them very late as... How have we not scored there? Did NDIA stop this going in? I don't often go back in time to watch something. I don't know how that's not gone in. Genuinely. All right, Marky Anderson on for Misiak, who's not had a good game today. Anderson as well. You're going to play as a centre mid on attack, my friend. Going to change our kind of mentality to very attacking here. Lehman forward, NDIA forward. We need a goal. We need some magic. We do have a corner here. Something could still happen from this, I suppose. It's going to be Lehman, the left back, over it. And then the game decides no more. 4 minutes of added time. Nothing is happening. That penalty miss, first miss of the season for Rojas, is ultimately going to cost us. Although when you look at the stats, the amount of other chances we had we didn't take is frankly kind of shocking. An XG of 3.87, and it finishes 1-1. Finishes 1-1. We had so much dominance in the first half. Second half was more 50-50, to be fair. We've slipped up. Man City have won 5-0. It's a disastrous weekend, and suddenly I'm thinking... Maybe the Carabao Cup and the Champions League just have to be where we put all our eggs. Maybe that is what we have to go into. We have a cup final next episode. We really need to win that one. All our various loanees playing various games, as I mentioned. We'll talk about those in the next episode, because some of them are doing quite well. Gilliland, by the way, for Crystal Palace, developing nicely. Look at the green bars. Yeah, he's not been doing too badly. It's fair to say. But that was a game there that we really needed to win. We're now 15 points behind Man City. We do still have 2 games in hand. Win those, 9 points behind them. Maybe there's a chance, if we do win them as well, there's a chance our goal difference will be better than theirs. There's still football left to be played. And to be fair, we have got a difficult run of games coming up. But if we navigate it, we could be in a good position. Next episode, EFL Cup final. And I hate to say it, I think I have to come back for the game against Manchester United. They inflicted our first defeat in over 40 league games earlier on this year. We're taking them on at home. I want revenge. And that game is a matter of days before we take on Arsenal. And whilst those games aren't too far away, you know, winning the EFL Cup would be big. Beating Manchester United is almost essential at this point. If we lose that game, I think that's the end of the league dream. I know someone might be wondering, Jack, who had a transfer offer on them? Kabongo from Shamrock Rovers. Sorry, Shamrock, he's not available. Now, it's a bit weird because I feel like in any other circumstances, I'd probably look at the results against Arsenal and Liverpool and say 4 points, not too shabby. Current circumstances mean that simply is not good enough. That said, tomorrow we have a cup final and another massive league game. A chance to bounce back, perhaps, before we really get into full swing with Champions League knockout games starting next month. The next 2 episodes are going to be tasty. Hopefully I'll see you guys for them. If you've enjoyed today's, leave a like, and I'll see you on the next one for more. I'm out.